What's up, guys? Becca is here. We got The Fosters, Season 1, Episode 5, The Morning After. As you can see, my beard is gone. And, I am looking stylish. Anyway, this episode starts off with Leah and Steph having all of their friends over, and Leah is like, oh, she forgot the guacamole and Steph. What? So then we see Jesus and Lexi trying to sneak up to Jesus' room, and Lee and Steph are like, you can't have any girl up there unless one of us up there. And then Jesus is like, really? We gotta listen to all your friends talking about all your friends, lame old friends, and she's like, we just listen to one of their friends talk about something, and he's just like, come on, he's like, do you know what's punishment? He's just trying to clean up everything out of the house, because you just called our friends lame and old. Go. And Mario makes a very, mean comeback saying taking out the trash, and because, she's still mad at Jesus and Lexi for lying to her about the whole, them dating without her knowledge thing, and she's like, and Mario and Leah's like, Lexi is now here to be your girlfriend, not your friend, and you gotta support that. And she's like, if that's love, then I don't want it. And so yeah, then we get the introduction of this new character named Garrett, who's a one-episode character that kind of reminds me of Matt Bennett. Not, like a joke of Matt Bennett. Matt Bennett is a very good actor. He's on Victoria. But this guy kind of reminds me of Matt Bennett. So, yeah. So anyway, he and Mariana start talking about a poetry slam, that he's in a poetry slam. And she's like, what's a poetry slam? And he's like, it's like poetry, but it's like a concert, but poems instead of song. And she's like, do you want to go with me? And she's like, sure. So then we see Jude, who's awesome, still one of my favorite characters, and he's like, and he sees Marina painting nails, and she's like, do you want to try it? And he's like, sure. And he starts talking about her name Connor, and Callie's like, and Callie comes in saying, don't worry about school, okay? And Callie and Marina's like, you know you don't have to listen to what Callie says, right? Yeah. So then we meet a new character named Jenna, who's a friend of Lee and Steph, and she says that she and her wife are going through a divorce, going through a rough patch, and that they're splitting up. And Lee is like, come on, you guys are Kelly and Jen, you guys are good together. And she's like, yeah. So yeah. After the intro, we see some stuff. Yeah, that is me trying to create a joke here. Well, yeah. So then we see Jude, and he's talking to Connor, and he kind of gets beat up by some kids, and she's like, grow up, idiot. And he's like, what'd you say, bro? He's like, grow up, idiot. And he's like, and then these kids get in trouble. So then we see Brent. So yeah, that's not after the intro, but I had to mention it because Drew's awesome. He did not deserve to get bullied. So yeah. So then we see kind of the weird thing. We see Jesus and Lexi sleeping together, and they don't use protection. So Lexi, she's like, freaking out, thinking that she's gonna get pregnant. So Jesus goes to this pharmacy where he goes to pharmacy. Yeah, he goes to pharmacy where where Steph catches him, and yeah, Lee and Steph were making this plan of how we going together. So yeah, so 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 Jesus comes clean about how he and Lexi slept together, and they didn't use protection, so they needed the morning after pill, and yeah, and that's why it's called. And when he was like, bro, are you? He's like, Lexi was the first one to think about it, and she's like, why? Because she fears that her parents are gonna find out and freak. So yeah, so it's like the Rivieras are very religious, and if they find out about this, they're going to make one. They're gonna want Jesus and Lexi to get married, and do they really want Jesus? And do they really want Jesus married and a father at 15? And Lena's like, please stop reminding me that they're 15. And yeah, so Jude's just playing some video games when Kelly comes in. He's like, what's going on? Jude had a bad day. Jude had a bad day. He was caught with some kids caught with that what's it called with that yeah, with that nail polish on. And Kelly's like, I told you not to go put on, Jude. Go take it off now. And Jude's like, stop telling me what to do. Cause I kind of agree with you here. And Callie starts saying about how Jude can take care of himself, and when he says how he's saving his house, and he's like, thank you for that, but we're not staying here. But they probably are. I don't know. But anyway, they're not staying here, and they're probably gonna move, and Jude's gonna have to learn how to protect himself over again. And one day he's gonna learn. Yeah. So yeah. So then we see Mariana at the poetry slam where we wanna meet Garrett's friend Savannah George, and Mariana does this like poem where Mariana doesn't get in, and she's like, and the guy says that Mariana's poem is very good. So yeah, so Mariana decides to pierce her nose. She decides to pierce her nose, and yeah, so yeah, so Lena's at school one day, and Lexi just comes up, and she's like, her mom a freak, and she's like, thank you for giving her the pill, and Lena's like, like shocked by this, because Steph's gonna talk to her about this, so she confronts her, and she's like, I had to learn from one of my students that my partner went behind my back and gave her the morning after pill. And she's like, yeah, I did it, so you did not have to. And she's like, she talked her through it, she did everything that she had to, and yeah. So then, so yeah. So yeah. So they're all going. Yeah, Wyatt was also in this episode, and we found out that he and Talia, he came over to the house, and we found out that he and Talia actually dated, and Brandon jealous Brandon, being jealous, gives Callie, says that, hey, Wyatt dated Talia, and he broke it off, and they slept together, and he broke it off the next day, and Wyatt gives his side of the story that they slept together, and she became very controlling, and that's not his thing. And he basically like said that Callie's like apologizing, and she not accepted, and she's like, wait, what, bro? And he's like, you can't just attack me, and she's like, it wasn't an attack, and yeah. So basically, Talia probably gave him some thing why he believes, and why it probably is telling the truth. But who knows? But all I know is I still don't like Talia. Well, anyway, Brandon goes up. Yeah, during the scene, Callie's like, "Hey, can I come along with you?" And yeah, and he's like, I'm sure." And Mariana and Mariana and Brandon goes upstairs to get Mariana, and he's like, ugh, Mom's gonna kill you, and they see her with the nose ring, and they're like, do you like it? And they're like, we don't like it, and Brandon and she's like, did it hurt? And she's like, of course, and Steph's like, of course it hurt you. You punched a hole in your face. And she's like, we'll just talk about it later. So we get to the poetry slam thing, and we see Garrett, and he's doing the poetry slam. He's doing the poetry slam, and he starts talking about how his mom, how his other mom, Kelly. He was saying with his other mom, Kelly, when his mom Janet told him to go on a trip, and it was like silent. They weren't doing anything, and So after he tells Mariano that he found out that his parents are getting divorced, and he discovers he likes the art on her face, and she's like, they do, and he's like, but why'd you do it? Yeah. So then after we see Stephanie and Stephanie just sleep together in a car, and basically that wraps up this episode. Okay, so this episode was really good. Jude, still one of my favorite characters. Connor, he also supported Jude by painting his nails blue, and I liked that scene because it was like Con was willing. Yeah, I kind of drew Callie in this episode. How she, is like, oh yeah, she kind of is bossing Jude around, and when it does give Jude a speech while she's helping him with taking the nail polish off, which I do. Yeah, Callie can't tell Jude what to do. It's not his fault why. It's not his fault why. Yeah, Mariana just asked him. He said sure, and Callie just was like, out of the blue, was like, don't wear that. He got bullied, and she was like, I told you not to wear that. Jude made the appropriate response by telling her to stop telling him what to do, because and I like the scene where Jude defies Callie, and Callie says, hey, take off the nail polish in a later scene, and he's like, no, and she's like, then if you don't, then you'll get a black eye to match it, and she's like, don't get used to the family, and and Jude retorts with, he likes that, they're not, and maybe it's not forever, and then Callie's like, you're just gonna get hurt, and Jude's like, I already hurt, which, that is just a great scene, because Jude, this entire episode, Callie has been trying to tell Jude what to do, and Jude is finally standing up for himself by telling Callie, no, you cannot do that, just because she's his sister, she cannot just go around thinking that she's the boss of him, which I like. I like Jude being responsible and telling Callie no, she cannot tell him what to do. And I get Callie's point of view, where Callie thinks she's doing it to protect him, and Jude's point of view, where he thinks she's just doing it so she can boss him around. I like those two parallels to this episode. They are great. And with the whole, poetry slam thing, it was kind of like it was unneeded it was there to move the story along, but it was unneeded. It was just there to introduce this new character named Garrett, who's only one episode character. I remember him getting mentioned kind of a lot, but he's in one episode character, and he'll probably Mario probably won't mention him again after a long time. But yeah, that wrapped up this episode. Jude was awesome. Callie was kind of bossy. Jude stood up for himself. Brandon was awesome. Jesus was awesome. Mariana was kind of annoying, but kind of awesome. And now we're on to this episode. See ya.